the first time, the two great leads of our sale next Tuesday are both sculptures and not paintings.
Very accustomed with what you might feel is typical auction house hyperbole, but this can't be, more praised, or more revered, or a more important bronze to appear at auction. We have the glories of this exquisite bronze, that magnificent stone carving you'll see later. If one thinks about Giacometti's Zoom, his body of work, the chariot is unquestionably within the top handful of subjects. There is his proven fascination, as with Modigliani, in a Greco-Roman period, in tribal art, in Etruscan art, certainly in Egyptian, in this erratic stance. With Giacometti, the female figures are never in motion, their feet are rooted, they're never allowed to move, but in this particular case with these wheels, there's this implied motion, but then it's refuted again by being anchored into these blocks. Every one of the casts, the wheels are set in similarly shaped blocks. Now, some of the works were gilded gold or patinated gold, and it gives one the sense of an even more precious, iconic type of object. Some were patinated in a darker bronze, and this is one of the few, maybe one of only two, that is painted. So when one gets closer, you can see he pigmented the hair to darken it. He actually added features of the face. There are also strokes of a sort of beige, lighter paint, very hard to determine, but it kind of addresses and softens some area, to bring down the sheen, again, giving it this sort of archaic feel. Our expectation is it makes in excess of $100 million.
Modigliani is very anti-Rodin. He feels that sculpture is sick and that the whole business of modeling, the way that you create a sculpture from nothing, is a dead end. What we really need to do in order to revivify sculpture is to go back to basics and back to carving. Remember, Modigliani is a Tuscan. His greatest hero is Michelangelo. What Michelangelo does is start with a block of something and liberate a form from within it. He's looking at influences across cultures, across periods, and bringing them together in a kind of very equal way. So in the same way that Picasso is looking at African masks, for example, in the Demoiselles d'Avignon, the lips here and the wedge-shaped nose are taken from African mask. And he had seen, I should say, Demoiselles d'Avignon at Picasso's studio around the corner in Montparnasse these years. But then if we move up here, these eyes are not from African masks, these are from Egyptian statuary, as the sort of almond blank eyes that you've seen at the Louvre and the Trocadero. The face itself is sort of elongated, very frontal, very enigmatic quality is also from Egyptian sculpture. We go up to here, the hair and the way the decorations in the hair, that is from Greco-Roman antiquity, again, completely different culture. Everything that you want from a Van Gogh of this late period is seen here. That's to say, this incredible red, vibrant, vivid color, this very rich painterly surface. Come close, you can see there are areas where the paint has been squeezed directly onto the canvas itself. It's been a long time, the late 1980s in actual fact, since a great Van Gogh still life was offered at auction. We sold a picture in London earlier this year for about $28 million or so, rather different kind of subject matter. But this is the kind of thing, a really global picture, the magic name of Van Gogh in a really terrific example, totally fresh to the market, in great condition, is the kind of thing that collectors from Brazil, through Asia, through Russia, Europe, America, are all dreaming of this kind of picture. So we have high hopes that it will sell well. The pre-sale estimate is $30 to $50 million for this painting.
But here, this is the quintessential. I mean, if one wanted to, define Impressionist work, it could almost just bring you to look at this picture, because it's all about capturing the instantaneous moment. No one view is ever fixed, ever immutable. It is always changing as the direction of the light comes in here, coming off to the left. You see this dappling light kind of scattering across her dress, shadows falling in that direction, the sense of the wind catching in the air, this beautiful, fast, flickering brush strokes. He subdivides the canvas a little bit over center. We see this sort of horizon line, and kind of brings all, the most weighty material objects to the lower portion, but allows the eye to move up as we follow the curve of the tree, the way these beautiful, I guess, red poppies kind of break the border and bring us up there. You instantly take in the beauty, but you can endlessly look at the picture.
New bidders continuing to enter the Impressionist and modern market, not only from emerging markets like Asia, but even domestically. So we're seeing increasingly diverse bidding each season. We expect the same. And also continued interest in all of the artists of both of these fields, Impressionism and modern, and particularly for the very best examples by every artist. The work that I'm standing next to is emblematic of all of these themes. It is absolutely singular sensation. It is wonderful that you're here to see in person because it does not disappoint in the flesh. In fact, it's one of those works of art that we're so pleased to work with because no matter how well you illustrate it or put it in videos or promote it, it always looks better in person because it is that satisfying, that fully worked, that richly detailed. This is a Manet titled Spring from 1881. This is at the end of Manet's life, at the summit of his career, when he is one of the most famous living artists and clearly at the height of his powers. But it's also indicative of Manet's style, his incredible forward-looking nature, how he was tied to the Impressionists but not embedded within them. Even just something as simple as the use of black around her face as a very strong framing device is something completely antithetical to the Impressionist style and really quite dramatically modern. It has most recently been on loan to the National Gallery of Art in DC for the past 20 years, where it was loaned by the same family to which it comes from us. This family has owned the work since 1909. And it's being sold to benefit a private American foundation. A lot of people have asked whether it might go to an institution. Surely we'd like to see that happen, and we hope to be making an exciting press release following the sales. But let's not discount the fact that many of our private collectors today are assembling collections in the hopes and plans of actually creating their own public institutions. Our estimate for the work is $25 to $35 million. That's based closely on the record for the artist, which is $33 million set not long ago for an artist, a self-portrait by the artist. So a work that's quite different in subject and tenor. We have high hopes for the work, and most of all, we're enjoying it.